So, what is a wine region? Have you ever thought about it? What is a wine region? And in a way, wine regions are they are trying somehow to determine the fact that from a specific type of place there is a type of wine that makes that wine unique and different from the others. As an idea, that's the concept of wine. I like the idea that I can recognize the wine because it's coming from a specific place. But on the other hand, it's quite tricky because everyone comes into it. If you start to name a wine region based on a specific style, what is going to determine that style? What is going to tell you if you are in that style or not? Think about Napa Valley. Napa Valley was like 20 wineries in 1947. Today is 1,000 wineries. So is Napa Valley the same thing as 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 50 years ago? How do we determine the concept? When people come here and say, I like wines from Napa, do you know what you're talking about? Do you know what does it mean Brunello di Montalcino? Or you're just borrowing the idea, you're just, taking the idea. Napa Valley means, someone say, yeah, and I was once actually even asked one of our clients, what is Napa Valley for you? And he said, Napa is oaky, means I like oaky wines. And I asked him, how do you make an oaky wine? Just put it in the fucking oak. So technically, this is not coming from Napa. It's a technique that has nothing to do with the region. It means fruity. Fruity, yes, but if you just put a lot of fertilizers and you have a place which is actually quite warm, you get a lot of fruit and alcohol. This doesn't really determine the place. So we need to pay really attention on the concept of what is a wine region. In my personal opinion, there are only few wine regions in the world that deserve to be called wine region. We can discuss about Brunello di Montalcino for hours. We can discuss about Chianti, that means everything and nothing. Even Burgundy is a bit of a tricky place in a way. But I can tell you, and I'm pretty sure that my colleague and fiancé Lindsay will agree with me, that we actually were witnessing the birth of a nation. I don't want to quote that fastest of Griffith, but the concept of when we were in Mamoiada this is summer, you were not there 5 years ago when we did the first tasting in Mamoiada. Mamoiada is a beautiful village on the higher hills of higher mountains of Gennargentu on a volcanic soil, between 7 to 1,000 meters on the sea level in the heart of Sardinia. I'll show it to you more or less. It's over here. Okay, no, sorry, this is Corsica. Over here. Okay, I missed it. Okay, sorry. I'm not Italian. That's what Lindsay used to say. I usually get lost all over when we travel. And didn't you think that we were at the beginning of something? It should be nice to go back to Mamoiada in 20 years and see what happened. Because 7 years ago, when you did the Mamoiada tasting here at Rimessa with my friend, the wine journalist Dario Cappelloni, there were like 16 different type of wines, and they were all with no label. Why with no label? Because most of these winemakers, they were just making the wine for themselves. Mamoiada is 2,300 winemakers. They have 2,300 inhabitants. They have 280 winemakers. So it means one every 10 people is a winemaker. If you consider that a family usually is 7, 8 people there, it means everyone is making wine everywhere. Most of the vineyards are plants with 70, 80, 100, 120 years old. It is absolutely a magic place. If you see one of our videos, at a certain point, Salvatore is telling, we're a bit scared about foreigners. In the last few years, everyone is talking about immigration. To me, we should start to think what is immigration. It means about the support of people that are coming. Have you ever thought that you should start to be scared? You're talking about, in US, people are scared about the Mexican people. In Italy, we're talking about, I'm scared about North African people. Somewhere else, they will be scared about Chinese people. Chinese are scared about Korean people. I don't know, everyone is scared about everyone nowadays. But you should be scared why people come in your country. You should start to ask yourself why they're coming. If they're coming to work, even if someone is a small criminal, the worst can happen is going to steal something. Maybe, I don't know, crimes in Italy are really low. We don't really care about crimes in Italy. We don't have guns. Maybe that's the reason. and we should be scared about what's the reason. And there are people, when a wine region start to become famous, the first thing that happen, there are big, rich, stupid, fat guys that come in the wine region and they start to buy the vines. They don't really care about the fact to make quality wine. They start to buy the wines and they start to make the wine with the name of Cannonau from Mamoiada, because me, my friend Dario, and some other restaurant created the wine region with the winemakers. They made know somehow the history of that place. No, we didn't make. We promoted. We didn't do a lot, but we promoted, and which is an heritage that has got hundreds of years. And they are coming there. They are destroying somehow the place. They are destroying from a cultural point of view because they don't come from that place. And so it's interesting the way. And Sedilesu, they are geniuses because this is a family. Salvatore, Simone. What's the name of the other father? The brother of Salvatore. Francesco Sedilesu, Salvatore and Vittore, two brothers and a son. They have two wineries. They work together and they are helping each other. They are helping also the other winemakers to grow, to make a kind of not a standard quality, but the idea, okay, why not, instead of making 10,000 bottles per hectare, why don't you make 5,000 bottles per hectare, work more on quality. I'm a bit long with this presentation for this wine. Probably most of you stopped watching this video, but I don't really care. Let me tell you one thing. You can see this color of this wine is slightly dark. Everyone now is on the concept of orange wine. Give me an orange wine. Give me an orange. I don't really like when people talk about things that they don't know what they're talking about. It's like when they ask rosé. I like rosé. I like prosecco. I like chardonnay. You don't know what you like. Can I tell you, most of you, I don't know what I like, and it's 25 years that I drink wine. So I'm pretty sure most of you don't know what you like. In the sense, you know when you like something, if you like it or not. But why you like it and what you like it, you don't know it. You don't know how to give a name to your pleasure. That's the problem most of us have. In the sense that we give, we don't know how to give a label to things because most of the wine regions are tricky. Most of the wines are tricky. So when we talk about orange wines, usually we talk about a white wine that is staying in touch with the skin, could be between 2 weeks up to 6 months. And the idea is to sometimes also to keep the bottle not completely filled so that you have a slightly oxidated, on purpose flavor in it. This gives kind of a moderization of the wine, which is made on purpose. Granazza is a great variety. Nobody knows about it. I can tell you all possible bushes about it. I can tell you that it's been there for 5,000 years. I would like to tell you the story, but I don't know the story because when I was asking to Salvatore what is Granazza coming from, he said actually, he says on the video, and he said, we really don't know. I know that these vineyards are 100, 120 years old. Most of them are not grafted on American roots, so it means they're completely wild. Talking about an area that is kind of a sacred growl in terms of phylloxera. It doesn't really get there. I'm not going to explain what is phylloxera here. You have a lot of videos when I talk about it. What else I can say? Why you drink wine? To be surprised, right? This is a surprising wine from any possible point of view because it doesn't really match with the idea of what is a white wine or a red wine, what is in between wine or rosé wine. Just get rid of all these ideas that wines should stay in specific boxes. There is this candy citrusy flavor that is typical of this wine, especially in the Perda Pinta. We're gonna maybe put it in the next shipping, not maybe the next one, in a couple of shipping. Sweet and dry, salt and malico. Malico, malic. Can you say it in English? I will say it even if Lindsay says yes. The malic acidity is a slightly bitter acidity at the end. It's like a bitter honey, and it's creamy and soft. We're talking about one that's 13.5 degrees in alcohol. The higher version has got almost a 17% in alcohol. This is a wine that can go really with everything that is not used to be paired with a white wine. So don't put this wine on the shelf of the white wines. You have to create a special separate sector of your wine cellar that with a big question mark in it, because this is not a red, this is not a white, this is not a rosé, this is not an orange wine, this is a Granazza. They call it Granazza because they think it's a Grenache Blanc, but who cares? Let me last tell you the last story about the relationship between the origin of grape varieties from Sardinia. You know, the Cannonau is technically a Grenache Rouge, so from France. And so the Spanish people, they pretend that they brought the Grenache in Spain, in Sardinia. French, they pretended they brought the Grenache in Sardinia. Sardinian, they found an archaeological site with some seed of Grenache. There are 3,500 years old. So I'm sorry with my French and Spanish friends. Grenache is Sardinian. Okay, full stop. Period.